All right, so we're about to read a few scriptures. Basically, man, just talking about how the Most High say to not follow after the heathens, right? To not worship him how other nations worship their gods, man. All right, so this is very important, man. It's time to stop being ignorant and following customs that worship devils. Okay. All right, we're not worshiping the Father in spirit and truth by partaking in these festivals, okay? Now check this out. Deuteronomy, Devarim 12, we're going to read 32, the highlighted part. What does he say? What did Yahuwah say? He said, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them who? Pagans, Gentiles. After they are destroyed before you, that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, talking about their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their mighty ones? And let me do so too. Do not do so to Yahuwah, your Elohim, for every abomination which Yahuwah hates, they have done to their mighty ones. So what is abomination? Abomination is something that's hated, discussed. So what is Elohim saying? Right? You claim you love the Most High? What did he say? He said, for every abomination which Yahuwah hates, they have done. Who is they? The pagans, done to their mighty ones. For they even burn their sons and daughters into the fire to their mighty ones. All right? These people, do all type of abominations, man, to their gods. The Most High all he wants is your faith and your obedience to his law. He don't want you to burn your children up, passing your children through the fire. This is what people do. This is what people have done. The ancient, the pagans. Now people pass their sons and daughters through the fire in a different way these days, but not to digress. All right, man, nothing's new under the sun. Verse 32 says, all the words I am commanding you to do it. Do not add to it or not take away. What does he mean? Don't add to the word, right? Don't add festivals like pagan festivals from the other nations and say that it's okay, that God know your heart and it's nothing harmless and nothing wrong with. We have to be careful because we playing with fire, okay? Okay, so let's read. We in Deuteronomy 16. We're gonna read 21 through 22. Okay, now watch this. People think bringing a dragon or tree into your house is harmless. No, that's ignorance, right? That's being ignorant of the Most High and what he required from us as a servant, right? Look at it. It says, do not plant yourself any tree as an azarite near your slaughter place, or Yahuwah your Elohim that you make for yourselves, and do not set up a pillar which Yahuwah your Elohim hates. Right? So now when you look at that word azarite, all right, they set up, when the pagans worship their gods and their idols, as you've seen in the video, they set up trees. They decorated them. All right. Now this leads us back. This takes us to Jeremiah 10:2. All right, check it out. It says, hear the word which Yahuwah speaks to you, O house of Yisra'EL. Thus says Yahuwah, do not learn the way of the nations. Okay, nations and heathens are interchangeable. The KJV gonna say heathen. It's nation, it's Gentile, it's all the same. It says, and do not be awed by the signs of heaven, for the nations are awed at them. When it rains, it thunders, stuff like that, okay? This is why other nations are pagan worshipers. They worship the sun, the moon, they worship the stars, they worship all type of things, right? They worship nature instead of worshiping the Creator. This is why he says this. Look what it says. Verse 3. For the laws, the customs of the peoples are worthless. For one cutted a tree from the forest. See? Why do they cut trees from the forest? They set them up in their groves. They set them up on their altars, and they decorate them when they worship their gods, man. All right? It's no difference than a Christmas tree. All right? The Christmas tree has already been proven and known to be pagan. This is stuff that people are ignorantly doing. All right, but they claim they love the Most High, right? The God of the Bible. All right, we're gonna say the God of the Bible because we know there's other false gods, clearly. All right. It says, for one tree, cut a tree out of the forest, work for the hands of a craftsman with a cutting tool. They beautify it with silver and gold. They strengthen it with nails and hammers so that it is not toppled. So it does not topple, so it won't fall over, right? Ain't that what you do with a Christmas tree when you bring it in your house? All right, now look, let's go to 1 Kings. 1 Kings 14 and 23. Let's read 22. Yahudah, that's Judah. Yahudah did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah and provoked him to jealousy. See, these types of things, when you're worshiping idols, when you're worshiping false gods, it makes the Most High jealous. Yes, he gets jealous. All right? Like a jealous husband. It says, and they provoke him to jealousy. It said, with their sins, which they committed. This is sin, people. More than all that their fathers have done. For they also built themselves high places and pillars and asherim on every high hill and under every green tree. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's right there. All right. So, yeah, man, that's been my time, man. I'm out.
The Christmas tree. From pagan origins and Christian symbolism to secular status, ABC News. A Christmas tree adorned with ornaments and lights is a centerpiece of the festive season. But have you ever wondered where the tradition comes from? Evergreen trees and plants have been used to celebrate winter festivals for thousands of years, long before the advent of Christianity. Pagans in Europe used branches of evergreen fir trees to decorate their homes and brighten their spirits during the winter solstice. Early Romans used evergreens to decorate their temples at the festival of Saturnalia, while ancient Egyptians used green palm rushes as part of their worship of the god Ra. Pieces of evergreen fir tree were first brought into people's homes to brighten spirits during the winter solstice. Flicker, Chintermeyer. The idea of bringing the evergreen into the house represents fertility and new life in the darkness of winter, which was much more of the pagan themes, Dr. Dominique Wilson from the University of Sydney said. That's also where the ideas of the holly and the ivy and the mistletoe come from because they're the few flowering plants at winter, so therefore they hold special significance. So the idea of bringing evergreens into the house started there, and eventually that evolved into the Christmas tree. From pagan customs to Christianity. There are several theories and legends as to how the evergreen fir tree went on to become a symbol of Christianity. One is credited to the English Benedictine monk Boniface, famous for his missionary work in Germany during the 8th century. The common story goes that Boniface encountered some native Germans performing some sacrifices in front of a mighty oak tree. Oak trees being sacred to the god Thor, Dr. Wilson said.
Now, we know that tree worship, now as we've seen in the videos and the literature, that people worship their gods with trees, okay? People worship their gods with trees, you know, as Deuteronomy, as we see in Deuteronomy 16, 21 through 22, and Deuteronomy 12, 30 through 32, and 1 Kings 14, 20 and 23, and Jeremiah 10 and 2, okay? So these people, they worship their idols with trees, okay? And certain trees, you know, was paid homage to certain gods, All right, tree worship is a real thing, people. All right, and the Christianity is not like Christianity was set apart or holy in itself. All right, because they took Christianity. I mean, they took their pagan customs and they just infused it with Christianity. All right, so it was already people called Christians, and worshipers of Serapis was already called Christians. All right, this is why I don't use the word Christ or Christian. I use the word Mashiach, okay? Because there's only one Yahusha Mashiach. There was plenty of Messiahs, Mashiachs, but there was only one Yahusha Mashiach, right? Yahusha means Yah is salvation, and the Messiah, Mashiach, is anointed of Yah, okay? So it was only one, and that's the Son of the Most High. We know Yahusha, Joshua, the son of Nun. We know that his name was Yahusha, which means Yah salvation, but he wasn't Yahusha the Mashiach. He was Yahusha the son of Nun. See, there's only one Yahusha the Mashiach. See, so Jesus Christ is not even his name. Christos, Christ, right? So you have to ask yourself, why would you call the Son of God the name that pagans call him? All right? Because pagans always infuse their paganism into anything that's truth, right? Something can be truth, but when you infuse your paganism and you defile it, right? So you can't take something unclean and make it clean. Like you can't infuse the two. You can't sit at the table with the Most High and the devil. All right, it's just bottom line. There's a separation. What sets the Son of God apart? All right, how could he be called Christ when worshipers of Serapis was called Christos, bishops of Christ? Right. This was not his name. So this is very important. All right. All right, let's continue.
Boniface seized his axe and felled the tree in order to stop the pagans worshipping a false idol, and the pagans were waiting for him to be struck down by lightning, but it didn't happen. So at this stage he took the opportunity to convert them. Saint Boniface felled a giant oak in Germany in the early 8th century. Then legend has it that...
It's funny that the Boniface, this guy, he trying to convert pagans from one religion to another. You see that? He tried to convert pagans from their pagan religion to the pagan religion Christianity. All right? The Most High never gave us religion anyway. All right? He gave us laws, statutes, and commands. Let's continue.
Then legend has it that a fir tree grew out of the fallen oak. That became a symbol of Christ. Being triangular in shape, it represents the Trinity, and from there came the idea that the tree should be a symbol of Christ and new life, Dr. Wilson said.
You see that? It says the tree became the symbol of the Trinity. Monotheism, right? We worship one God. Ain't no three-God system. It's the Father, right? And it's the Son. And it's the set-apart Spirit is just the Most High, right? The Most High is a spirit, right? And he's set apart, right? So there's no Trinity. It's the Father and it's the Son. The Holy Spirit or the Ruach HaKodesh is God. Okay, let's continue.
That's one of the main origins of the Christmas tree and bringing it into the house.
You see that?
Modern Christmas trees, a German tradition. Modern Christmas trees emerged in Western Germany during the 16th century as Christians brought trees into their homes and decorated them with gingerbread, nuts and apples. It's the 17th century that we really get the decorating happening, and we get a movement into the festivals and the big royal courts having these trees with the gold leaf on them, having paper decorations with candles, Dr. Wilson said.
But if you notice in the video that was just shown, they've been doing this, all right? Certain cultures come later came later than others, but in the 17th century, no, they've been decorating trees to their different gods. Different cultures and different religions was decorating their trees, different trees into their own gods, all right?
19th century painting by German painter Franz Kruger of a father and son collecting a tree in the forest. Wikimedia Commons.
Sound like Jeremiah 10:2 to me.
The custom became popular among nobility and spread to royal courts across Europe in the early 19th century. As Germans emigrated to other parts of the world, the tradition also spread. But in places like the United States, having a Christmas tree was often viewed as a foreign pagan custom until the mid-19th century.
That's interesting. So, in the United States, the Christmas tree was considered pagan, but now people, they just do it all just willy-nilly, right? They just do it without thinking about it. Just adopting pagan practices and not caring what's the origin of it. Like, this is the problem. All right, it says, come out of her. The scriptures say, come out of her, my people, lest you be partakers of her plagues, man. All right, we got to come out. We got to come out of this stuff.
Queen Victoria, Prince Albert popularized Christmas trees. While the Christmas tree originated in Germany, it was Britain's Queen Victoria and Prince Albert who popularized it in the 1840s and 1850s.
So this is why a lot of people, celebrate, because they following heathens, they following the nations, especially definitely anybody that follow the Creator Yahuwah, and especially the children of Israel. All right, we gotta stop this. All right, so share this video with anybody that you think that's seeking truth. Share it with them.
Victoria's mother, Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld, was German, so she grew up having a decorated tree at Christmas time. But the idea of decorating a whole tree was not common among Brits until a drawing of the royal family celebrating around a decorated Christmas tree in Windsor Castle was published by the Illustrated London News in 1848. This illustration of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert with their children around a Christmas tree featured in the Illustrated London News in 1848. Victoria and Albert were popular royals, and soon every British home had a tree decked out with decorations, candles and sweets. The same image was published 2 years later in the United States in Godey's Lady's Book, though Victoria's tiara and Albert's mustache were removed to make the image more American. It was the first widely circulated picture of a decorated evergreen Christmas tree in the US, and soon the Christmas tree was in vogue. Christmas trees today. Today, Christmas trees come in all different shapes and sizes, from traditional fir to artificial. Christmas trees now come in all different shapes and sizes and are widely accepted around the world. 702 ABC Sydney, John Donegan.
Just because something is accepted around the world, do that mean you gotta accept it? What's the old saying? If somebody jump off the bridge, would you jump off of it too?
The tradition of decorating a tree is embraced by millions of people worldwide of different faiths and cultures. While it is still a symbol of Christianity to some, to others it is simply part of December celebrations.
How and why is it even a symbol of Christianity if Christianity is supposed to be a religion created by the Most High, or the Son of the Most High, like they like to say? People love saying, well, Jesus ain't even his name, but people love saying Jesus. No, he didn't. No, Yahusha, the Son of the Most High, did not create Christianity. Okay? I got another video on my channel called The Two Messiahs. You should check it out, because Jesus and Yahusha is two different people. All right? So Jesus probably did create Christianity, but not Yahusha. All right?
Here in Australia we've embraced the European aspect of Christmas, Dr. Wilson said. We eat the fish and the prawns, etc., but I think we are relatively traditional. The fact that so many of us still do the turkey and the ham, placing the gifts under the tree, That's definitely something that links back to our European roots.
Okay, so that's another thing. Why would anybody even eat unclean animal, right? It's just all sorts of things wrong with this pagan day of Christmas, Saturnalia, whatever, right? Why would you eat ham? Why would you eat an unclean animal on a day that's supposed to be sacred to the Most High? Because it's not. All right, man. It's been my time. Hope somebody got some understanding, man. Hey, like, share, and subscribe, man, if this blessed you. Shalom.
Chapter 34, verse 13. But break down their altars and smash their pillars and cut down their asherim, their sacred trees. For you do not bow yourself to another mighty one. Yahuwah likens the worship and use of sacred trees to bowing to another mighty one. For Yahuwah, whose name is jealous, is a jealous El. Devarim, Deuteronomy, do not plant for yourself any tree as an Asherah, a sacred tree, near the altar of Yahuwah, your Elohim, that you make for yourself. Do not set up a pillar which Yahuwah, your Elohim, hates. Yahuwah says that he hates the fact that the nations put up Asherim, sacred trees, and pillars. Yahuwah says, do not do so to him, and do not plant a sacred tree near his altar. Yet when you go into the Christian church during the time of the winter solstice, they have the sacred tree, the Yule tree, the Babylonian tree of life, the Yalda tree, which they call the Christmas tree, and it is sitting on what they call their altar. They even have the audacity to sing songs to the everlasting fir tree. The carol known as O Christmas Tree today was originally titled O Tannenbaum. Tannenbaum is the word for fir tree in the Germanic language. O Tannenbaum, O Tannenbaum. The carol was written in the 16th century as a folk song, referring to the everlasting fir tree that was used in the worship of Odin and Thor, who the Germanic people originally worshipped. And they decorated these fir trees during the winter solstice, during December 25th. And when the Germanic people began to take on Christianity in the 19th century, they adopted the carol to the fir tree as a quote-unquote Christmas carol. Today, when it is sung in the English language, the term Christmas tree is inserted into the text, whereas the original song does not reference Christmas at all, and it never references the Messiah once. It is a carol to the fir tree. The Germanic people and many of the pagans did and still worship trees. All pagan cultures worship the sacred tree, the Asherah, and they do so by wrapping it with tapestries and decorating it, placing gifts at the base of the tree, and making petitions to the tree itself or the deity that the tree represents during this time, during the winter solstice. And